da 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 da. Start spreading the news. We have a new video. You'll wanna be a part of it. Scary, scary. What is the title? It is the Top 10 Scary Manhattan Urban Legends. Hello, welcome, thank you. Hey guys, and welcome back to the most amazing channel on the internet. I am your host, Miss Rebecca Jane Felgate, and I am feeling good in red today. I also totally forgot that I'd scripted that really cringy intro, but you know what? If you can't start a scary video with a song, then when can you? Also, my power belt is back and I'm ready for some spooks, and I love Manhattan. My vibe is sleep no more all day, every day. If you've seen it, you'll know. For those of you watching, why don't you guys let me know what your favorite city in the world is and why. Also, do leave a thumbs up on this video and share it with a friend who hasn't heard of Most Amazing Top 10 yet. If they haven't, then where have they been? Check out the links in the description box for our most amazing Instagrams and stick around to the end of the video where I'll be reading comments from a previous one. Alright, I'm actually really up for this, so let's do it. Coming in at number 10, we have Pirate Treasure under Lady Libs. Here be treasure! Do I sound like a pirate or a farmer from the west side of England? I don't know, you decide. I love a good treasure in my urban legends, I really do. I know that the Statue of Liberty isn't technically in Manhattan, but it's very visible from Manhattan, so you know. Anyway, the story goes that the notorious Captain William Kidd hid his treasure on the island on which the Statue of Liberty has been erected. No wonder she's looking a little bit smug, she could be hiding gold under there. Captain Kidd was hung in London in 1701 for piracy, but a lot of his loot was never found. Many believe he hid his wares on what is now Liberty Island, and the rumour was so strong in the late 1800s that two soldiers went searching for it. Legend has it that they found it, but also disturbed the ghost of Captain Kidd, who scared them away. When they returned for the treasure chest, it was gone. Ba, ba, ba. That isn't the only pirate urban legend to sail through the mouths of New Yorkers either. Some even believe that a ghost ship haunts the Hudson. Coming in at number 9, we have the Moles of Manhattan. Genuinely now, genuinely, when the subway was dug under Manhattan, people in New York believed that builders had come across mole people. That's right, mole people. By that I mean supposedly strange inbred people living underground. When the New York subway opened in 1904, this kicked off, but the urban legend saw a resurgence in the 1990s, and a whole bunch of first-hand accounts started popping and bopping up. Even today, a lot of citizens think there are communities of people living in lost tunnels of the subway. Of course, the legends have become richer over the years, and now people believe that they see in the dark and they speak their own strange moley language. Some people think they've got long claws, and some even think they're cannibals. Yikes, killer moles. In reality though, there are people living down there, but generally speaking they're down on their luck homeless people desperately trying to avoid being hit by trains, which is pretty grim. Okay, I guess this is a funnier urban legend, but at the same time pretty scary, because this could be the price of fame. Coming into number 8, we have Taylor Swift in a box. Welcome to New York. It's been waiting for you, still a banger, I love it. Taylor Swift moved to New York circa 2014 between her Red era and 1989 era and bought a home in Tribeca, one of the coolest neighborhoods in Manhattan. Taylor has been regularly photographed entering and exiting her home and has a constant swathe of fans outside her house waiting to catch a glimpse of the star, which actually is pretty terrifying if you think about it. I absolutely wouldn't be cool with people outside my house all the time. Anyway, somewhere along the line a rumor started that Taylor Swift now had to enter and exit her house in a box. It seems that people spotted men loading a large case into an SUV, and it sent the internet wild. I have to say though, if Taylor Swift does have to travel by box, and if that's the price of fame, then I don't want it. Coming into number 7, we have the Young Women of Woolman. This urban legend is so popular that the New York Times even ran a whole article on it. The Young Women of the Woolman ice rink are some of the most spotted ghosts in the city. They look like two ladies in well-off Victorian dress, and they have been seen ice skating on the Woolman rink after hours. One wears red and the other purple. It's thought that they are the wealthy Vandervoot sisters who lived with their overprotective wealthy father in his Manhattan townhouse. The pair would often escape to the park to get away from him together. Not in a mean way, just in a, you know, gotta live way. Both siblings died spinsters really sadly, and they died within months of each other in 1880. Around 35 years later, during the First World War, stories started circulating of two girls seen gliding over the 59th Street Pond, with sightings at the Warman Rink beginning after it was built in the 1950s. The rink was actually formerly a pond that was skatable in the winter. Now the sightings occur frequently ever since in all weather, which would be really weird if you're like there in the summer chilling out with a beer in the park and two Victorian ladies just come skating by you. A stone's throw from Central Park is the Dakota Building, the focus of our next urban legend. Coming into number 6, we have the Living Dead of the Dakota. Imagine there is no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Oh, and a few trapped spirits of the dead haunting their former homes just for good measure. The Dakota Building was built in the late 1800s and is one of the most beautiful and iconic buildings in all of New York, but it is also haunted as heck. The building was already said to be haunted before famous Beatle John Lennon lived there with Yoko Ono. In fact, Lennon even told Ono that he'd seen a ghost of a crying woman in the halls. Now sadly, John Lennon was murdered outside the building on the 8th of December 1980 by a crazy fan. He was aged just 40. Yoko Ono still lives in the building in a new apartment, but before she moved to her new space in the historic building, she saw the ghost of her husband sitting at his white piano. He reportedly spoke to her too. He said, "Do not be afraid, I'm still with you." Also, it's rumored that $30,000 is hidden under the floor of Lennon and Yoko's former apartment. Wow. Okay, we have a fancy hotel legend up next. Coming into number 5, we have Sid and Nancy in room 100. Hotel Chelsea is an iconic building, rather like the Dakota. It seems that throughout its rich history, it has been somewhat of a mecca for musicians and other artists. Known guests include Patti Smith, Mark Twain, Dylan Thomas, and Leonard Cohen, but the most notorious residents may have never checked out. Nancy Spungen was the OG groupie. She was the girlfriend of English punk rocker Sid Vicious, and she oozed sex, drugs, and rock and roll. In 1978, when the Sex Pistols broke up, the pair moved on out to New York and began living in the Hotel Chelsea. The pair took a lot of drugs, and there were horrible rumors that Sid Vicious used to beat his girlfriend. In October 1978, Nancy was found dead in the bathtub of room 100 with stab wound in the belly. Sid was arrested and he died of a heroin overdose on bail. Now the pair's presence is said to still be felt in room 100 to this day. Coming into number 4, we have the Manhattan Well. I don't feel good about wells. I think it's ever since The Ring. No. In the cold dead of winter in 1800, the body of a young woman by the name of Guelma Sands was found at the bottom of a brick wall on 129 Spring Street. The finding caused a great scandal as high flyer Levi Weeks was accused of killing her after they'd had an affair and she fell pregnant. He walked free in the end despite public outrage, and it is said that the lost soul of Guelma could be spotted near the well. Those who looked into it often saw a face staring back at them. The well was filled in 1817 due to its ghoulish history, but it was unearthed again in 1980 and is now amid a Koss store as an original feature. I wonder if it's haunted still. Coming into number 3, we have the most beautiful girl in New York. I love theatre and I love Broadway. I first went to Broadway in 2014 and I have been back 3 times since. I always want to go. Every time I go to Manhattan I have to see at least one Broadway show. 2 if budget allows, 3 if I get rich, and that would be nice. The New Amsterdam Theatre is one of the most historic venues on the Strip and is currently home to the Broadway production of Aladdin. The venue was built in 1903 and was known for its risque roof garden. It was a popular spot for socialites and members of high society, including silent film star Olive Thomas. She was dubbed the most beautiful girl in New York. She appeared on the stage at the New Amsterdam Theatre several times and was rumoured to be the mistress of Ziegfeld Follies himself. Sadly, the actress died in 1920, aged just 25. Now her death was one of the first publicised Hollywood scandals. Forever young, it also seems like she is forever present. Her ghost is regularly spotted at the theatre, although it's said she only shows herself to men. Coming into number 2, we have the Devil of 9/11. Popular belief among the people of Manhattan is that 9/11 was the work of the devil. With the death toll of nearly 3,000 innocent people, it's easy to see why someone someone might jump to that conclusion. But not only that, Satan's face was said to have been seen in the smoke that day, and some people even caught it on camera. Mark D. Phillips allegedly captured images of the face of the devil staring at the horrified city. Some call the images a hoax, but others believe that the photographs from the otherwise very credible photographer are real. Did the devil descend on Manhattan that day? I don't know about literally, but in many ways, yeah. It did. I know that this is a scary list, but I kind of wanted to end it in like a bit of a jovial, quirky, but still freaky way. I love a freaky legend. Steve Zeitlin runs an organization devoted to New York stories and legends, and this is his favorite. Coming into number 1, we have the Great Sawing of 1823. Did you guys know that Manhattan was sawn in half? According to a pretty hilarious urban legend anyway. The story was told in scholar Benjamin Botkins's 1976 book, New York City Folklore. Benjamin Botkins, what a great name. He said that in the ripe old year of 1823, a contractor by the name of Luzier noticed that the southern end of Manhattan was going to sink. The only remedy, he said, was to saw the island in half, turn it around and reattach it. I love it. Harebrained, and I love it. Now apparently, all of the labourers of New York got involved in the project. They did not want their beloved city to sink. They turned up in swathes to save Manhattan. Only when they showed up for work, they found out it was all an elaborate ruse by Lozier. He disappeared. Can you even imagine turning up, saws in hand, ready to like cut your city in half, only to realise that it's an elaborate lie by a wayward rogue and you, my friend, have been had? I honestly wonder if they would have gone through with it like, It's mad, but I like it. So guys, that was that. That was quite the jaunt. I almost feel like I've taken a haunted tour of Manhattan without having to splash the actual cash on going there, but I would love to go there again. Always. Yay! Thank you guys for watching this video. Do let me know which of the urban legends you think was the scariest, and should we do the other boroughs? Borough. I like the word borough. Before I go, I'm gonna read some comments from the scary things found in backyards, an absolute classic. Brolin75 was talking about the cheetah found in a garden, and they wrote, "Mom, that creepy cat is in the backyard." A good meme. Do it! I think it would be a good meme. Liquid Cat said, "Do you think we could get a most amazing top 10 and chills crossover?" I'm gonna be totally honest with you, I read chilies when I was going through the comments and my first thought was fajitas. I really want fajitas. Chastity Fisher said, "Man found $150,000 while picking broccoli. Me. Looks outside the broccoli garden." Right? Although, a story for you, I actually found a pair of Christian Louboutin shoes thrown out in the street for anyone to pick up today, and now they're mine. I'm gonna show you them. They were my size and everything. Fact. 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 I found them in the street, they fit me, but now I'm starting to think maybe they're cursed like the broccoli money. Damn. These vagabond shoes, they are longing to stray, so I'm getting out of this video. I hope you like what I did there with the whole circular thing. I'm your host, Rebecca Felgate. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up, especially for me struggling to show you my foot today. It's a good day. I'll see you guys soon. Bye!